What's happening, everybody? Bob Wankel, CrossingBroad.com. We have the streaking Pittsburgh Steelers in search of their fifth straight win, heading into Cleveland to face a struggling Browns team that's just 3-6 on Thursday Night Football. Which team will win the game? Which team will cover the spread? We will get to that in just a minute, but before we do, I want to let you know if you're betting on this game, you can head over to CrossingBroad.com/DK, download DraftKings Sportsbook. They will match your first bet up to $200, or head over to CrossingBroad.com/FB, download FoxBet. They'll give you $20 just for signing up, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100.
You can make it rain.
All right, now before we get into the odds, some betting trends and our picks and plays on this game, a couple things that you need to know as a setup. Steelers have everything to play for here. Yes, the Browns are desperate. Their season's probably over with a loss, but the Steelers, after having under a 20% chance to reach the postseason when they fell to 1-4, now more likely than not, according to 538, to make the playoffs, 56% chance leading into this game. That defense has led the way. It's not the same explosive Steelers. There is no Ben Roethlisberger. There is no Le'Veon Bell. There is no Antonio Brown. It's about the defense. 2.9 takeaways per game, second best in the NFL to only the New England Patriots. And that is particularly important this week because the Browns are giving the ball away 1.9 times per game, which is 28th in the NFL. And get this, I couldn't believe it. You go all the way back to the 2010 season, NFL home favorites are 1,076, 5-14 and 4 straight up, win almost 68% of the time outright, but the Browns are only 13-14 as a home favorite since the start of this decade, and they're 1-2 this season straight up at home, which is just terrible. All right, let's check out the odds in this game. We have the Steelers, a 2.5-point underdog, plus 130 on the money line. Over-under currently set at 40. Browns, meanwhile, minus 148 on the money line. My initial take looking at this spread, why are the Browns favored? They're a turnover machine. They're only 3-6. The Steelers are red hot. 4 straight wins coming off a high-profile victory at home over the Rams. They have playoff aspirations. It all makes sense, except the Browns are favored in this game. And when I went to look at the trends, I really want to back Cleveland in this game. It feels like the sharp play to me. Maybe it is. We'll get back to that in a moment, but the trends really point towards Pittsburgh in this game. First thing you need to know, the Steelers are 33, 17-2 ATS as a regular season underdog under Mike Tomlin. He's been fantastic as the Steelers head coach in the underdog role, 24-14 ATS in road games as an underdog, and 10-4 against the spread in division road games are the Steelers under Tomlin. So that's all good stuff. Also know this, when road underdogs of 3 points or less are over 500 and they're coming off a win and then playing a division team with a sub-500 record, they're 15-8. And so what this trend really shows us is that you would expect maybe that letdown by the short underdog, like, hey, they're an underdog for a reason, but we really haven't seen that. And then a quick word on the total here. I love division unders late in the season. Anytime you get divisional matchups later in the year, my play is always under. You have 2 programs, 2 teams that are familiar with one another. They tend to know what each other does, and the defense is usually a step ahead in these games. This trend bears that out. 373, 294, and 15 is the under in these divisional matchups in week 11 or later. 30, 22, and 3 ATS is the under on Thursdays. It's also 44, 34, and 3 in AFC North divisional games. Again, that's week 11 or later. So let's get into some bets that we like in this one. I gotta say, if you're going to take the Steelers, I don't see this being a blowout or a rout. I do think that Cleveland's going to come to play in this game. So if we're on the Steelers in this one, take them to win outright between 1 to 13 points. You can take advantage of this plus 195 payout at FanDuel. That's crossingbroad.com/FD to get in on that deal. Steelers money line with insurance. FanDuel also offers a great money line insurance for these games, all NFL games. If your team on the money line loses by 6 points or less, you're refunded up to $50. This could be a great spot to take advantage of it. You take the Steelers in this one. And then if they, again, lose by 6 points or less, you do get refunded up to $50. Good spot for that. And then the under, I like in this game, and you can get that at minus 110 over at DraftKings, crossingbroad.com/DK. As for the game itself, when I handicap this, I look at it and the Steelers make so much sense, but I can't get over the fact that the Browns are favored. And for me, that makes it a little bit of a stay-away game. You look at the historical data, and I also wonder, is this a decent spot to drop the Steelers into a tease? And I know when you talk about betting previews, you want to be hard and firm on one side over the other, but this could be a good tease spot. Take the Steelers up to 8.5. I don't see this being a blowout one way or the other. If I had to take the game, if I had to do it, I guess I would take the Steelers. Obviously, you see these recommended bets really trying to take advantage of the value here, but it's a tough one for sure. Again, if you do want to bet on this game, head over to crossingbroad.com/DK. Download DraftKings. They'll give you a $200 first bet match, and Fox Bet is crossingbroad.com/FB. They'll give you $20 just for signing up and match your first deposit up to $100.